Hey, check it out. I got it to work this time. Alright, what's going on, you guys? How's everybody doing? Let's see what's going on the old Twitter stream. So I saw this from Caitlin Johnstone earlier. Had to save this one. This is perfect. She says, I rewatch this clip whenever I catch myself wondering if I've been too hard on the Democrats. It's easy to forget how evil they are when they're not in power. If you're gullible enough, you will believe them. But this is what they're really like.
Say it again. Say it again. Mock them again. Mock the children again. Do it again. Do it again.
18 years old. 18 years old. Yusuf Hassan. 8 years old. Turn around and join the uncommitted delegates in the protest.
Yeah. That one guy in particular, it's funny because they tell him, like, you can hear them saying, like, mock them again, like he must have done it off camera. Then they got the video rolling, and then they told him do it again, and they did it again. And I wonder if in that moment the dude was like, wondering if that was a bad idea to like take their direction and repeat his mocking of the dead kids. But he did do it, so that's fun. I have no idea what this is about. Sounds like some infighting. Yeah, I don't know. This dude is saying, I don't know, bro, it's hilarious. There's this whole professionalized identity politics class in the academy, mostly black and brown women or queer folks calling Marxism, quote, Eurocentric, while their entire theoretical backbone is European post-structuralism and psychoanalysis. And they're replying to somebody saying, Marxism through a racial lens exposes its blindness in language. Uniting workers is counterproductive. Some workers benefit from class inequality. Marx should have unified the exploited and those excluded from work. Their liberation should precede the liberation of the worker. I mean, good luck with that. Good luck making the people who are unable to do things the leaders and the backbone of your movement, and see how far that gets you against the people who are doing things. Things that you don't like. They're doing systemic violence, but they're doing things. They're very committed, they're very organized, they're very ambitious.
Are you a homosexual, Clay?
I am, yes, Mr. Trump, I am.
No, is that true?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
But
Marcus, did you know that Clay was gay?
Yes, I did. When we first.
Did everybody know this?
Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
Okay.
He let
Because
people
I didn't
know
know
in the
it.
beginning.
So you don't find Olive very attractive then? Right?
No, I mean,
and
she's
you
a
don't find
beautiful woman.
Felicia very attractive?
They're beautiful women, but they're not my thing.
All right. That's why they have menus in restaurants, you know? I like steak, somebody else likes spaghetti. That's why they have menus in restaurants. It's a great world. Are you a homosexual, Clay?
I am.
What is this in reply to?
There's no question about it.
It could be a problem. Mr. President, you mentioned some of your favorite songs. In your opinion, what makes a song great?
Well, it's something that has to be soft and soothing to your ear. I like some songs that other people don't like, you know. That's why they have, you ever hear the expression, that's why they have menus in restaurants. We're all different. We all order different things. Otherwise, you just serve one meal and that would be it.
Are you a country music fan?
But I love country music. And we have the king of country music tonight. So that's another one. There's no question.
Can you picture Trump listening to country music? I don't see it. I don't know. Some dude probably speaking Ukrainian. So I like this page. T. Olive Fern says, LMAO washed the Mossad's incoming chief, Major General Roman Goffman, on October 7th, fleeing from Palestinian resistance fighters so fast that his heels literally struck his arse. if there's any sound of this one. I guess that's him fleeing down here. He is running pretty fast. Oh, got shot at. Oh. Yeah, I bet you'd run pretty fast if you get shot at. That's very funny. A reminder that many psychological and sociological studies have shown that the field of medicine, nursing, physicians, psychiatrists, etc., attracts a large amount of people with antisocial personality disorders and narcissistic tendencies. Am I following this idiot? No, I'm not. One of the side effects of most of the American population being slack-jawed peasants is what I call terminal gin brain. In the mind of the peasant, anything strange, possessed of artistic intent, or that exists outside their low understanding becomes demonic. Responding to country music star Zac Brown is facing accusations that his Las Vegas Sphere show featured a dark, satanic-like ritual theme. Fans say the visuals plunged the audience into hellish scenes filled with demons, tortured souls, and imagery that included a crown resembling devil horns. Zac Brown says the show simply tells the story of his life and personal journey. Very funny. Very funny. This is very good. A Russian drone unit observed the work of a Ukrainian drone unit. They waited until the unit went back to their main position, and then dun dun dun. Yeah, a lot of those videos that end with no image available because the drone has blown itself up and whatever it was hitting. Imagine beating your elderly citizens for peacefully protesting a foreign entity. Shame on you, Germany. Well, yeah, that's going to keep happening because you keep allowing it to happen, so. Let's see what else we got on here. Oh man, everybody is sharing this footage of Alex Karp. Like I would never insinuate that this man is on drugs, because I believe that that's like slander or libel or whatever. But a lot of people are saying, a lot of people on Twitter are saying that they've seen these kind of mannerisms, this kind of body language from people who are partying. Just saying. But JP Hill says, amazing that today's oligarchs are so touchy that they even feel the need to make weird excuses for their cocaine use. Okay, so I wasn't saying this. I'm not saying this. That's what JP Hill is saying. While cross-country skiing this morning, Dr. Karp decided to launch a new program, the Neurodivergent Fellowship. If you find yourself relating to him in this video, unable to sit still, or thinking faster than you can speak, we encourage you to apply. The final round of interviews will be conducted by Dr. Karp personally. Application link coming soon. Thank you and good luck. What is this?
A lot of decisions when we began talking, annoying each other 10 years ago. Hopefully I'm annoying you as much as 10 years ago, or more. When I made you know this, yeah. Every decision Palantir made, FDEs, going public, building products, enterprise, large data sets, going to government, acknowledging American superiority, being pro-meritocracy, launching an AI platform, calling into question that AI models would actually be able to perform without orchestration. Every single one, our ontology, every single one of those was viewed as stupid. A lot of decisions when we began talking, annoying each other 10 years ago, hopefully.
What is this page? This is not the actual Palantir page. I'm assuming it's like a parody page. They couldn't be actually posting that unironically like that. But this is Callow Walsh. Everybody check out Bad Empanada's video. Yesterday I was just watching his, I think it was like the actual live stream, but maybe he like releases like a later edited version of it, but he was titling it the Investigated by the FBI live stream. He was spending a lot of time talking about Callow Walsh. And I thought it was good for, like, as much as I like to tear people down and point out who all the grifters are, which Bad Empanada also takes a lot of time doing. He makes a lot of videos tearing people apart and showing all the flaws in their thinking, or just that they're straight up fucking liberal grifters. But he spent a good amount of time talking up Callow Walsh because this is like a 21-year-old girl who's actually out there, like, attacking Elbit Systems, vandalizing the plants that make the weapons that are sent to Israel, doing like actual direct action in praxis, and then makes all these other quote unquote activists look really fucking stupid. And another thing he pointed out that was really cool was that like it took her like a couple of weeks or something to like join the DSA and then outgrow their politics, to just realize, okay, this is a fucking sham. This is a game that these people are playing. This is really stupid. I'm not going to take part in any of this bullshit anymore, and then moved on to other things. And that's what more people should be doing. Like, it seems to me the problem is that most people are actually just news brains. They don't really care about politics or any of the systemic issues. They don't really want things to get better. They just want to like monitor the situation. That's mostly what they want to do. Pay attention to the news and then feel like that is some kind of praxis or activism. And then shout down anyone who says that like it's actually required that they do more. They're kind of obligated to do more than that. But anyway, getting back to like Calla Walsh's actual tweet. She says, calling for Venezuela to surrender their sovereignty instead of supporting their right to resist is unacceptable. Let's be real, Petro is a slightly more radical and rhetorically bolder Lula. More talk than action. Calling for international brigades in Gaza was just a rhetorical device. Oh, she's responding to Gustavo Petro himself, who's saying this analysis about an invasion of Venezuela is accurate. There will only be blood, something is missing. In the unleashed chaos, the violence will seize Colombia. That is why in Venezuela there must be a transitional government agreed upon by the Venezuelans. Now that's very disappointing. That's pretty shitty for Gustavo Petro to like call on Venezuela to like just surrender and like implement some kind of transitional government that is comfortable with the U.S. It's like that's the opposite of what's good. That would not. How would that not affect Colombia negatively? Like, if you think that there's going to be bloodshed during an invasion, if Venezuela puts up a fight that will negatively impact Colombia, well, then what do you think having Venezuela totally taken over by a client regime that's friendly to the U.S. will do to Colombia? Probably also not good things. Uphold Reality says, if you invade, you get Vietnam. If you only bomb, you get anarchy. Maybe you kill Maduro, maybe you hit some ministers, you'll blow up central command and infrastructure. Then what? Do you really think Maria, Corina, and a few rich kids from eastern Caracas is going to stroll into Miraflores while collectivos, militias, and the army stand aside? No. You get civil war, Benghazi with Barrios, 10 times the firepower and 100 times the refugee crisis. It's a hell of a racket. Impose sanctions to collapse the economy, force people to flee by the millions, exploit the exodus for further aggression. The same policy that creates the refugees is then used to justify more imperial aggression abroad, quote, failed states, humanitarian crisis, etc. Justify more repression at home, secure borders, internal threats, terror watch lists. Rubio and his clique demand maximum pressure on Venezuela, then use the migrants that pressure produces to build a bigger domestic security apparatus. The cost is not just Venezuelan suffering, it's American national decline. Your medical bills, your kids' underfunded school. The USS Ford parked off Venezuela's coast, $13 billion. That's 260,000 teachers' salaries, or 1.3 million kids' school lunches for a decade, gone. Redirected into a carrier group enforcing corporate vengeance at the hands of a criminal gang of Zionist fanatics. Chavez called it the beast. He was naming a system, one that consumes nations abroad while cannibalizing its own citizens at home. He was right. He also said that the American people could defeat it from within, free themselves, and in doing so, free others from its reach. Question for Americans, how many more, quote, blow them up moments before you ask, who exactly is this beast serving? Yeah, and like, I don't know what Combat Uphold Reality's agenda is. They just have like a Cuban flag in their bio, I think. I always confuse the Cuban flag and the Puerto Rican flag, so I could be wrong. But, oh no, it's the Puerto Rican flag. It says it right there. Puerto Rico, geopolitics, and what is soberania? I don't know if that it's just like soberism. But anyway, they usually have some decent takes. I don't know that page is like run by a Marxist or anything, but it's like all that analysis is dead on. I just saw this other thing. Let me see if I bookmarked it. That they're going to try and replace teachers with, they're calling them avatars. They're basically like the electronic representation of the teacher. Let's see. Russian psychologists stated the idea that teachers will soon be replaced by, quote, avatars. Education for the poor will look like this due to the shortage of teaching staff and constant population growth in Moscow. For example, one teacher sits and delivers a lesson to many schools online. But schools that can afford to employ lively and engaged teachers will be schools for the rich. This will simply be the murder of education. Yeah, I mean, if you can't tell that that's the way things are going, that when they incorporate AI, when they integrate AI and like whatever kind of robotics they can, I think everybody's seeing the videos of like how so many of these robots are just teleoperated by a human, and that's going to be probably very common. You'll probably have like a teaching robot that is a copy, like they're saying, like one teacher operates this teaching robot at the front of like 60 different rooms across the country or something. That's what you're gonna get, you guys. Like, if you have never worked, like, I feel like people are not getting the whole dynamic where every company is telling everyone to do more with less all the time. I was just rewatching The Wire. That's a show from 2006, and it's like the last season, which was probably going to be in like 20, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, somewhere around there. A good 10, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, depending. There was this event where they like had to lay off a bunch of people. The newspaper had to make cuts. They had to lay off a bunch of people, and everybody's grumbling, saying like, "Well, how the fuck? Like, we're already struggling. How are we going to do our jobs with fewer people?" And then the managers are just like, "Hey, you just got to do more with less." You know, they're just like, "It's the economy, stupid." Like over and over again. That has never stopped. That has never stopped in any industry. Any industry that anyone is in, if you exist right now, you probably have to have a job. You are working in some industry, and you are noticing that same level of cuts still happening as if the 2007 financial crisis just never stopped. That's how it's going to happen. That's what the AI will stick around and do. And all your complaining online, all of your scolding people for using AI or reposting AI is not doing a goddamn thing to stop the AI industry from expanding. It's not going to make the bubble pop, and then when it does pop, you're not going to get rid of AI entirely. It's going to remain just like the internet remained after the dot-com bubble, and it's going to become increasingly a bigger part of your life in ways that you probably will not enjoy. More of the Alex Karp, just looking like a total nut job. Netanyahu is saying it from the river to the sea, and people are trying to. What do you like? What's the doing? Are you doing a hypocrisy own? I thought this was a statement of genocide. It's illegal in Europe. Why is he allowed to say it? Good luck, bro. Good luck doing the why is he allowed to slap to Netanyahu, as if the genocide wasn't evidence enough of his impunity. Just wake up. That's very funny. Zionism Observer says, "Holy shit, dude! Michael Starr murdered an unarmed, starving teenager. Wrote an article about it, and then apparently forgot about it." And they're posting a screenshot of his article. In it, he says, "The young man I killed couldn't have been much older than 18. He was in civilian clothes. He was unarmed. My heart sank when inspection of a bag dropped by one of the men revealed foodstuffs inside." And they're responding to Michael Starr saying, "Source?" Because let's see. Michael Starr responded to Zionism Observer saying, "Michael Starr isn't in jail for it yet, but he murdered an unarmed teenager searching for food in Gaza. Starr now claims he feels bad about killing the kid. A Hamas terrorist who planned suicide bombings that killed 12 people and was released in a ceasefire deal in exchange for October 7th massacre hostages, just spoke at a webinar hosted in collaboration with U.S. and Canadian organizations." Damn, where was this guy? Who's this cool cat? That was Michael Starr saying that. So yeah, Michael Starr was responding to them and saying like, "Source, where's this article that I wrote?" And then it was his own article that they're posting and responding with. Very funny. Ben Shapiro, quote, "Reparations for black people? Nah, that never works." Same Ben Shapiro 2 minutes later. "Billions to Israel and Holocaust payments from Germany? That's different. We deserve it." All right. I'm thinking of probably wrapping it up. I know it's like a short stream. How long have I even been? Yeah, it's only been like 20 minutes. But I mostly just wanted to come on, chat with people for a little bit. Has anybody been popping in the Instagram chat? Yeah, I would like to figure out a way to like leave these videos up on my profile. It seems like they mostly go away once I stop the recording. They end up in like in like an archive. I don't know if I can actually post them on Instagram. But then that also means I have to figure out an appropriate length that people will watch them. Like, this is already 20 minutes, so no one's going to get it suggested in their feed. No one's actually going to sit and watch the whole clip. But I'm going to have to start doing some content talking about just the state of the left, such as it exists or doesn't exist, because it's wild to me. Like, it really is the case that, like, most of you guys are not tired of doing the thing where you either follow an influencer and pay them with just your attention, or you actually pay them with money just to tell you that things are bad. And you're not tired of like the whole organizing, quote unquote, consisting of mutual aid and protests, which is not Marxist praxis at all. Like, that's something that some liberal people or some religious people told you at some point was the highest level of praxis that you could do, and then liberals felt the need to defend that. It's weird to me. It's kind of sad. It sucks that most people are not tired of those things, but I certainly am. I have certainly outgrown that. And I guess most people would at that point do the, this is why I left the left thing, and then become like right-wing grifters, but I have no interest in that. Like, I actually would like things to be different, which is why I've adopted the whole thing, like, Americans who actually want different conditions should move to a socialist country, rather than trying to fake reform their country with performative bullshit. Because that clearly has not worked. And this makes people very mad. This makes people who actually just want to consume content and call that activism. It makes them very angry. It makes people who are simping for influencers very angry. And it makes people who think that they are activists for doing some charity work in their community very angry. I mean, I guess that's activism. I wouldn't call it revolutionary Marxist activism by any means. But that's just me. All right, you guys. Sorry. I'm going to cut this one for today. And then, yeah, let's do it again tomorrow. All right, I'll see you then. Later.